the road to Damascus. We left Beirut this morning and travelled up into the mountains, then down, heading for the flat, fertile basin of the Bekaa Valley. Zakhle refugee camp, just one of hundreds in a country where more than a quarter of the population are Syrian refugees, 1.1 million. It is a miracle, but it is coming apart.
-2, 0. Yes.
Maths can be tough.
3 minus 1, 2.
Maths in English, tougher. But notice something? Exhausted faces? Because most of these 12 to 14s have just worked from 7 last night, all through the night, irrigating crops for less than $1. And why? Because the entire UN regional aid plan here for Syrian refugees is in crisis. It's just 1/3 funded. Therefore, they cut the food budget for each refugee to just $13 per person per month. How do you live, or I live, on $13 a month for food? How?
This is from here the worst form of child labor come, because the mother can't leave 7-6 children without any care. Then they send the biggest 2 children to the work. They are working for 14 hours, and you know, 14 hours for just $4.
14 hours for $4?
Yes, it's not.
That's virtually
easy.
slave labor.
Yes, it's really we have big problem.
A couple of hundred meters away, an entire new camp has suddenly sprung up here in just the last month. To find out why, we were invited in to meet Fatima. Her young sons start work aged 7. They used to rent a room, but the money's gone. Her husband is out seeking work. Everything, she says, is getting worse here. Where would you like to go?
I prefer to go to Germany because my kids need to study. Learning here isn't learning because my sons have to work as well as go to school.
The flat's gone, so it's down to 2 bare rooms, 7 children, and the winter snow is coming. Who wouldn't want to go to Germany?
Now Europe, it's come a dream for them, because if they are hearing from there that the security, it's very good, the fund, like €1,000, it's like stories come from the borders, you know.
People have been living here now for 2, 3, 4 years, and it is getting worse, not better. It may indeed break down here, and if that happens, if even a fraction of the vast number of Syrians in Lebanon decide to come to Europe because they think it's the promised land, and compared to this, it is the promised land, you're going to see a situation in Europe which will make the last few weeks there look like a picnic. In this camp, some basic schooling does happen, but after years of war in Syria and the lack of work in Lebanon, remaining here has never been so tough.
More than 80% of the families, or the refugee families here, pay rent. So after 4 years with the conflict, their resources have depleted, and they're resorting to selling what very little assets they had. So it's becoming more difficult for them.
Today, the UN admitted its aid system is financially broke. If nothing's done, these families might not be just saying goodbye to us, but to Lebanon itself and heading for Europe.